Hello everybody, welcome to another HOBONICHI video. What a crazy thing, a month has passed since the last flip through we did, and people seem to really love that video. So that's great, because I love doing these videos and I love journaling, so I guess, you know, things are just falling into place. So without further ado, let's get cracking into these bad boys. I think let's do exactly what we did last time. We'll go into the HOBONICHI Cousin A6 and then we'll move on to the weeks. Both very exciting. One definitely not lesser than the other. I don't know if this was here last time, but this little cat pin, this little pin here is from Copenhagen, and I thought the black cat matched this black cat really well. So anyway, I'm talking about really non-exciting things here. Where did we leave off last time? This is my final wrap-up spread of January. I was feeling mildly stressed, and so I did this like thought and emotion dump to wrap the whole month, and now we're ready to go into February. I've started putting the illustrations that I post on social media into my journal pages, so you see a couple of those dotted throughout. This is the first one. Year of the Snake, Happy Lunar New Year if you celebrate or observe that kind of thing. I thought it'd be a cool thing to do an illustration of a snake, and Jack and myself are both dogs according to the Chinese zodiac, and so I drew us as two dogs riding on top of this giant snake, and I thought that was pretty cute. And then we go straight into it. Honestly, looking back on this now feels like an age ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. I finally saw When Harry Met Sally. If you saw my last HOBONICHI flip through, you know that I've been writing this massive wave of romantic comedies from the 90s and early 2000s. I need to... Hello. Cat incoming. I'm sorry, ma'am. This is Clem, by the way. She just wants to... She's an agent of chaos. All she wants to do is wreak havoc upon the world, and I will give her treats and be right back. Anyway, I finally found it on DVD, and I bought it, and I watched it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. Is it gonna be one of my new all-time favorites? Probably not. And then, in the style of January, I have a little emotion and thought dump happening on this page. I was getting some weird emails where the vibes were off. Kind of like your classic 9-to-5 passive-aggressive email type stuff. And I just needed to put my frustrations somewhere. It's nothing that deep. It's nothing that serious, my god. But, you know, I'm a sensitive, creative soul, alright? And when somebody sends me an email that's a little bit poopy, I spiral and I spin out and overthink and think everybody hates me. So, not a super exciting spread, but I do like the way that this little font came out, so that was good. Next up, we're keeping up with our cinema goal of the year. We've been to the cinema every single month. Hooray! This time we were trying to go watch The Presents, which we'd been very much looking forward to. This is like a week post-release for The Presents, by the way, and it was not showing anywhere. Like, it was in cinemas in Edinburgh for maybe about a week, and then it completely got cut from the program, so we went to see Companion instead. This was really fun. Honestly, not a tremendously, like, groundbreaking stuff in terms of sci-fi and robot companions, but I really love Sophie Thatcher, and I think she's great. Also, we need to talk about Sophie Thatcher's styling for this, because who did that lip color? And I need to know what it is, because it's so cool and good and nice. And it matches her complexion so well. Anyway, I digress. Next up, we have award season. This was really fun. The Grammys happened. I don't normally follow a lot of award ceremonies and gossips and things of that nature, but I love Doechie's mixtape. Is it a mixtape these days? Album. Her album, Alligator Bites Never Heal. I think it's just genius. Like, every song on that album is a banger, and I think she mentioned in her speech that she was the third woman in the history of the rap album category to win it, and I think that's so cool because she's amazing, and so I had to put that in the journal somewhere. Unfortunately, this album is only available on vinyl, and I'm not here to diss vinyl. I think vinyl's great. I also think vinyl's very expensive, and so when I collect stuff, I collect CDs. Lo and behold, I turned up to HMV, no CD to be found. Another highlight from this award ceremony was Ray's live performance of Oscar-winning Tears, which... go watch it immediately. It was incredible. Which gets us on to the next page. This is from me and Jack going on a little art supply shop. One of our favorite things to do recently, since Jack has now taken up painting Warhammer figurines, which I hope he doesn't mind, but I'll show you one. So this is what he's been doing, which can we all agree that this is crazy, right? I cannot emphasize how small these things are. He's been painting these. It's been going amazing. And we've been going to art stores a lot more. Little did I know, our local art store carries Traveler's Notebook stuff, which I've always wanted to try, but is just really intimidating because most of the stuff that I want to try is completely blank, and I don't do well with blank pages. But I bought one anyway. I've since absolutely destroyed it, as is expected, but I thought I'd commemorate my very first Traveler's Notebook, and here. Then one of the reasons that February was such a busy time for me is I took on an extra project for Kids Room magazine, which is for subscribers only. So unfortunately you cannot buy it just off of a stand at Waterstones, but it's English heritage, and the theme for the issue for March/April was storytelling. And so I got to illustrate a lot of really cool things to do with Bram Stoker and Dracula and King Arthur. And I did the cover, which is my first magazine cover. It's not this one. It's neither of these. I can't reveal what I actually did. When I receive my little complimentary issue, I'll like show it off in my next vlog or something. I was just journaling about how cool that was. I'd been wanting to work with magazines more because currently I work pretty exclusively on graphic novels and comic books. So it was really cool to go and do a magazine. And then we have a bit of a media vlog on this side. I saw Apple Cider Vinegar, which I was still in school when the Belle Gibson interview first came out with 60 Minutes, when, you know, it was revealed that she was faking everything and she was just spiraling out, literal crash out on television. And I'd completely forgotten that it ever happened. So I was really excited to watch this. And then I watched it and then rewatched it immediately. I thought it was really well done, really entertaining, despite the fact that really it's just a very sad situation. And then High Potential is a show that I think is still going as I'm recording this. I think it's still coming out on Disney actively. Sweet D. Reynolds, I'm a massive fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and so I saw that she was the star of this and I had to go and watch it. It's comedy mixed with detective crime solving duo that are super quirky and cool. It's really enjoyable, so your girl is hooked. First book I finished in the month of February was Chlorine by Jade Song. This had been on my TBR for ages and ages and I could never find it to buy a copy. Luckily for me, it was 99p on a Kindle Daily Deal, so I snatched that right up. I liked it so much I bought a physical copy of it too. It's a coming of age story for a star swimmer in an American high school team who slowly transitions into a mermaid. But it's not like a Pixar Disney situation where it's really beautiful and sparkly and it's such a gorgeous transformation. No. It's bloody and gory and weird. And it tackles a lot of like issues that teenage girls have to deal with on the daily in a very magical way, I guess. Read this at your own peril. I thought it was really dark and I loved it. This month has truly been a big creepy book month for me. I think you saw me fill this out a little bit in the last vlog. Kendrick, Super Bowl halftime show. I think this is the most watched halftime show in the history of halftime shows. I think it's already breaking some sort of record. Roughly 1 billion of the views on YouTube are just from me. It was genius. Everything hit perfect. The messaging, the lyrics, the song choice, the dancing, the performance, it was all just so good. And so I had to commemorate it somehow. And I really loved the way this turned out with the USA stamp and the way this situation happened. I love the way it came together. And then I journaled a little bit about going to the gym again. Your girl has a thyroid condition and it's recommended that I do a lot of exercise because my heart is weird with its rhythm. So signed up to the gym. As of the recording of this video, I still haven't been. Full disclosure. However, with taking on the magazine work in the month of February, I've just been so busy. It's literally been 14-hour illustration days, 5-6 days out of the week. So I just haven't had proper time to go, but I will start in March. Mark my words. I mean, if I come back in April and I'm like, I went 0 times, then, you know, keep me accountable and tell me I'm shit, you know? Okay. Here's the sitch. More media vlogging, logging even. Matchpoint deserves a double page spread. I saw that movie on the 12th, 13th, and also the 14th, and then on the 15th I went and bought it on DVD because it's genius. To me, this movie is honestly perfection. Chef's kiss. Everything was on point. Cinematography, dialogue, character, progression, pace, music, everything was incredible. Snubbed for so many awards. I'm mad. And if you still have not gone to see this, please go watch it. I think it's included in Amazon Prime at the minute. And I can already hear people say, well, I'm not that interested in tennis, so do I really need to watch it? Yo, I'm not interested in tennis. And when I tell you this movie is not about tennis. And then we move on to Valentine's Day. We did such romantic things. We went grocery shopping. And then we got home and we built some Legos. Jack had gone to the Lego store and got some botanicals for us. We're a little bit poopy at keeping real flowers, even though we want to be good at it this year. So for now, we just bought some Lego flowers. We got the Lucky Bamboo and the Plum Blossom. And because we got 2, they gave us this extra little mini set, which I think you can kind of see down here. And yeah, we built that. And I thought it'd be fun to include a little schematic of my favorite bit of it. This now lives by the TV in the bedroom. So still experimenting with fonts. So, you know, stuff's happening. I'm still bad at them, but she's getting there. Stuff's happening. There's progress. And then we got tickets to All Points East, which is a festival that happens in London every single year. It's in August, so like the dead of summer. It's gonna be so hot. We snatched tickets immediately because Ray and Doechii are headlining the exact same day, I think on the exact same stage. So we're gonna spend our entire day listening to gorgeous women singing beautifully and rapping their throats off. I'm so excited. And it's really close to my birthday, so I've kind of justified the music festival as like an early birthday gift to myself. Okay, something slightly different for us. I haven't done this before. We made brownies and they turned out amazing. And so to remember the recipe forever, I put it in my journal. Normally I put recipes that I like in the notes app on my phone, but honestly, I'm a chronic note creator. Things get lost all the time. So your girl, being smart and such, put it in here. And then this is the second illustration I posted in February. We kind of drew this together in the last vlog. I kind of show snippets of my process here and there. I think it's really cool. It was really loose. It's something different. I don't normally get to do this style for books, so it was nice to like go back to my roots kind of and do the gangly weird limbs and small beady eyes. The way it printed was a bit weird because the shadows have ended up a lot darker than I wanted them to be, but you know, I don't care. This is the year of making mistakes and not caring. So next up, this is a very generic spread about how busy I was, because I was so busy that I was losing sleep and my eyes were hurting. My eyes hurt to this day. And so let's hope that never happens again, but it probably will. I love the way this all came together. I love it when a spread is comprised of different bits from totally different places, like Pepsi Cola. I illustrated these stickers specifically for this spread. There's an Australian stamp, a bunch of different stuff, but they came together beautifully and so cohesively. And I love it when that happens. So I might try and incorporate more like pages like this in the future. And I also like the cream. I like a subdued page. I also watched My Old Butt. I missed this at the cinema. And so when I saw that it was up on Amazon, I thought now is the chance. It was marketed as like this really cute romantic comedy set in Canada, coming of age on the cranberry farm. It's about a girl that gets extremely, how do I say this and still make it friendly for the internet, bent on mind-altering substances and ends up meeting herself as an almost 40-year-old from the future. And that's that. Except it's not just that, because it's really sad. And then the ending got me crying because it plays on my literal worst fear in the whole world. Trigger warning for serious terminal illness, by the way. Okay, so every month I feel like there's going to be one spread that I really hate, and I think this is the winner. This takes it for February. I read Return to the Dallergut Dream Department Store. That's a mouthful. Because I read the first book last year, loved it, thoroughly enjoyed it, so whimsical, so magical, so fun. And I just didn't connect with it at all, which was sad because I was so excited. I read it in physical form, then I tried audiobook for a bit when I felt like it was kind of dropping off, and then I went back to the physical book. It never hit the spot for me that the first book did. So I struggled with the spread because my feelings weren't that good. Then we have The Monkey. Y'all, we went to see 2 cinema movies. Last year we saw Longlegs, which was written and directed by Osgood Perkins, and we immediately loved it. It was one of our favorite horror movies of the year. When we saw that, Osgood Perkins had also done a movie this year, and it was going to be a horror comedy, and it was going to be adapted from a Stephen King short story, Cursed Monkey Kills People. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. It was so slapstick. It was gory and gruesome, but it still had that like really funny flair. If I were to be really nitpicky, I thought the pacing was a bit weird because it felt like we were setting up and then we were setting up the present and then we went straight to the finale. So I wish there was like another 15-20 minutes right in the middle so we could settle into the now of the book. But man, it was such a cool film. It's just a fun time. Okay, on to the next horror. Swiftly, The Lamb by Lucy Rose. This was one of my more anticipated reads of the year. Found it in Waterstones, immediately got it. Mother-daughter cannibalism in the woods of England. Incredible. I fell in love with this book so hard, so fast. The way the narration style is written is just like nothing I've ever read before. It's so lyrical while at the same time being so descriptive about all of the violence that goes on in the plot. It's incredible. Honestly, I think this may be one of my new favorite books of all time. I can't wait to see what Lucy Rose comes out with next, and I hope it's a horror because this was 10 out of 10 for me. The ending. I picked up a new podcast, We're Your Girls. I've been following the creators of this podcast on different social media for a while now. Since lockdown, I think, actually. They started releasing a podcast not this week but last, and it's hilarious. It's two girls chatting away, and it's the best. It feels like you're on a phone call with your two best mates and you're just talking about UTIs and like dark romance books, and it's just a good time. I hate the way this little speech bubble turned out, but I'm embracing the mistakes. Okay, this is the month of embracing mistakes. And then the rest of the month is like a photo album. I'm gonna show you the one that I did for Denmark super fast. I love the art of the photo album. Every time we go somewhere or have a trip, I like to come back and put a photo album together. So this, for example, is the one we did after we went to Denmark last year. And as you can tell, it's literally just a collection of photos that we took on the trip with a bunch of receipts and like cute little memorabilia. And so we went to London for 3 days for my mother's birthday, and I thought I'd commemorate it with a little photo album. So this is me and Jack at the Natural History Museum. We took the tube for the first time in like forever, even when we used to live in London, which, by the way, I spent a third of my life living in London. Even when we used to live in London, we always used to take buses because the tube was always so crowded. This is the London Graphic Centre. If you like art supplies and you're ever in London, I thoroughly recommend checking it out. It's close to Covent Garden when there's a bunch of other art stores as well. So yeah, just a couple of pages with a little collage. And then we went to see Cirque du Soleil, which I've only ever seen one time before. The story for this one, it was called Corteo. A man on his deathbed gets visited by magical circus performers from the beyond, and they go back through his like childhood memories, and it was very sweet despite the fact that it's obviously a very gruesome topic. But this was the ticket, and then behind it I've made it like a little trap door. I kept some of the packaging that I saved from the trip because I love packaging. This is the final spread of the month. This is space for a wrap up that I haven't quite filled in yet. I'm gonna do that later today. I guess I kind of like went into March a little bit because this is also from the February trip, but we'll get to that when we get to that in March. That, ladies and gentlemen, was all of February journaled. One journal done. And just in case you're not sick of me yet, we have another journal to go through too. So back into the weeks. This is a spread that you briefly saw in the last flip through, and nothing too exciting has happened in it since then, to be fully honest with you. Payday, groceries, meetings. This looks like a really empty space, so I might try and put a little bit of washi tape or something down here. Actually, why not do that now? Live on camera, we're journaling. By the way, some of my favorite washi tapes to use recently have just been solid colors. I love a solid color washi tape. Oh, should we put a sticker on here too? Why not? I got this at the London Graphic Centre, by the way, just on this very trip. And I got 2 new sticker sheets. This is one and this is the other. And I think both of these are Midori brand sticker sheets. So let's see what looks better. I feel like the dogs are a little bit too big, but then a cat would just look a little bit too dark. So this is another thing about having sticker sheets, is like, I love all of these equally, but every time I go to use them, I'm like, oh, but I don't want to waste this one, because what if there's a better opportunity for me to use it somewhere else? Okay, we're gonna do a little tiny house just down there. You can barely see it, so very subtle. And then, oh, they're just all so cute. They're so small. I don't have tweezers, and I have giant lady hands. I'll call that a day. It's a little something to fill up the space. Anyway, so this is probably the least exciting page I think I've done so far. We then move on to week number 2. Big Mondays. Oh, did something happen here? No. Oh, yeah. So this is when I would have started the magazine work. So it was probably a big Monday because I had like a whole section of new illustration I needed to do every day. So that's that. A lot of sketching, content creation. Don't want to fall behind that ever again because it's one of the things that I enjoy the most. Jack got this like white new make spirit thing from a brewery tour, and I've been keeping it ever since because you never know when a good opportunity for a sticker is gonna come about. I've also been in love with brown mushroom stickers, which, I mean, it only takes a couple of flicks in this thing to see that I've been using brown mushroom stickers like anywhere I can get away with it, basically. And we had some friends over from down in the Midlands, and we went for a lovely breakfast in Dishoom. Had a really good time. They met our cats for the first time. A lot of work. Then we have mid-month. I'm starting to experiment a little bit more with pencils. As you can tell here, this pencil is a different color of this, but it's the Polychromos pencils. They're really creamy and they're really forgiving. So if you're just like starting off with calligraphy and experimenting like I am, I think they're just a little bit easier to use. And even though it's a slightly different color to everything else on this page, I really enjoyed the way it came out. It kind of goes with this red, and then I got some new shades of the same type of pencil because I've been using these so much that I thought, hey, I want to expand my range. I'm getting a little bit braver with drawing stuff now. I've decided against going straight in with a pen. Even though this is great and it looks really subtle, the mistakes that I'm making are like staring me in my face. Oh yeah, it's a Lego brick because it was Valentine's Day. Editing vlogs, buying cat food, all very exciting bits and pieces. Also, I'm running out of these like vintage cigarette cards, so I think I literally have like one more and then my little mid-page trapdoors are gone forever, or until I find some more in a charity shop somewhere. Yeah, I don't know why I thought a ship would be a good idea here. It seemed like the right moment, and so I did it. Also, I've been really enjoying sectioning things off to put notes in. Then we have second to last week. I clearly smudged something on this end. Still experimenting with fonts. This one was a little weird, but it works. I don't know. And again, sorry to be plugging my vlogs so much, but if you saw my last video, you'll see that I stole this tinned fish bit of paper from a cardboard box for Ortiz that was left at the back of the shelf in our grocery store. I have no shame about this. I'll take what I can get anywhere I get it. And also I had these like fish stamps, like Australian fish stamps that I thought would look really good on this because, you know, again, it's from a fish tin company. And yeah, I really like the way this page came together. The yellows kind of complement each other, and then the reds are really well accented with this pen. Yeah, success. Again, more brown mushrooms. I'm obsessed with these things. And then this is the last page of February. We went to London. I didn't have enough space to like journal thoughts in the A6 cousin because we did the photo album instead. And so I just had a little bit of a reflection moment. And this is what I mean when I say I've been trying to do more fonts with like pencils. I'll give you a sneaky preview of March, but like this is also pencil, this is all pencil. I don't know. I've just been having a lot of fun. And then remember that breakfast from like 2-3 pages ago where we went to the Shoom with friends on the 9th? You get little mango hard-boiled sweets when you get the check, and they were so tasty and so delicious. And because I love packaging, I saved the packaging and I popped it in my journal. A good mix of colors on this one. It feels a little bit more adventurous and I really enjoyed it. Much like this one, I like that there's one overarching color and then little accents all around. And I also love incorporating photos, so I may do a little bit more of that in the future as I carry on going through this journal. So that is it. Those are the 2 journals journaled. The month of February has officially been documented and immortalized in the pages of these Hobonichis. Thank you so much to everybody who put suggestions into my last video of people who journal that I can watch. I'm such a creep. I immediately looked everybody up. All good suggestions, never a dud. And yeah, it's just really exciting to like finally be a very, 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 very small part of the journaling community online because I've been wanting to be in it for so long. So good. It feels really nice and I feel really accepted. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Naturally, I'll be back to show you March when that's all completed and filled out. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are. Stay creative, stay fun, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!